Hello and welcome back to the Talkin Bits podcast. We are back. It's your host, Michael Rose, with your other host, Nathaniel Boer, back from Heroin's Anonymous.
I don't feel like heroin's very anonymous. I'm going to be honest. I think most folks know when you're on heroin.
Yeah.
It's tough to be anonymous and on heroin.
Nathaniel, people don't really know this about Nathaniel, but he used to weigh 400 pounds, and he took heroin as rich people. He took heroin like rich people take Ozempic.
Right. Well, my insurance wouldn't cover Ozempic, so
yeah. So
I've been taking a lot of naps standing upright, but bent over at my waist. Yes. That's how I've been. Yes. I've been sleeping a lot, just dozing off.
It's 100 degrees outside, but he's wearing sleeves to cover up the train track marks. What is it called?
Train track marks.
Train track marks.
It is train track marks.
It's something with train tracks.
Yes, I look like I've been playing tic-tac-toe up and down my arms.
What is it called? Is it train track? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sure.
There's a whole thing.
Train marks?
Train marks?
No, it's not.
I don't know. I don't really want to look
marks,
up
I think.
track marks. I really didn't want to Google what does heroin marks look like. Or like, what is it called? What are heroin marks?
Indicators of heroin use. Just Google that and see. There's just a picture of me.
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. We're back, baby. We're back, baby. So your host, Michael Rose, hasn't been in the studio in so long that he misjudged the girth of his microphone. And he put it right into his tooth just now.
I think I just chipped my tooth.
He just chipped it.
I apologize for that noise that I'm sure that conveyed.
That was a violent noise.
I'm sure that was a... Fuck.
It'll look really good on video, too. We can see the moment.
Yeah, whenever I... fucks my tooth up.
Well, I'll go ahead and export this when we're done so you can show it to your dentist to explain what happened and why you're going to have to...
Ooh, I chipped one of Kayla's teeth one time.
Is that... Well,
did.
Can we share this story?
Yeah, we sure can.
He was drunk. She was mouthing off. Okay,
no, I wasn't drunk, but she was talking back.
Sometimes they get mouthy.
They do. Yeah. No, we were in a... We were in a movie theater, and she said hi to her ex-boyfriend, and just kidding. We were in a movie theater, though, and we this is before AMC started selling alcohol. I don't even think it was AMC. It was I think it was Carmike Cinemas back in the day.
Reel it back.
And we may or may not have snuck in some glass bottles of alcohol.
As you do, as people do.
And she was going to drink her whatever alcoholic beer,
bootlegger probably,
whatever we had. I think it was like Mike's Hard or something.
Wow.
Yeah, and so the only mic that was hard.
Good time.
That night.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Sure. I chipped her tooth. That was the only Mike's Hard.
It's a good story.
Yeah. No, but anyway, she was like taking a sip of it, and I like turned and like I bumped her on accident, and it like chipped her tooth.
Yeah.
And,
I've never chipped a tooth. I don't think
I have. Well,
I have on
today.
Several occasions thought that I did. And you know that moment when you're like eating something kind of crunchy, and then you feel it between your teeth, and you go, "Is that a piece of my tooth? Or is that a corn kernel? What is that?"
You know what's the worst? Whenever you're eating chips and it like gets stuck behind like your front teeth. Does that ever happen to you? Like
a pointy,
it's like Dorito? in your like gum, and you just like think about killing yourself.
I don't know how we got on this, but sometimes when I eat jerky, a little strand of it will wedge itself between my teeth, and that's quite unpleasant.
You ever had braces?
I have not.
Me neither. But like apparently that's a whole thing whenever people eat like popcorn.
My teeth were also stained as a baby, I think, from some kind of medication or something. And so I've always been very self-conscious about my teeth because I'm pretty orally healthy, if you catch my drift.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, I really take care of my oral. But anyways, but they still look dirty all the time. Like it's a big thing. And then my mom, she's gonna love that I'm saying this, but she's been a closeted smoker her whole life, and she overcompensates by being super neurotic about brushing and gum, like trying to hide the smell because she's embarrassed by it.
I get it. Yeah,
some people are weird about
what
that.
What just closeted smoker and just yeah. I like a
mouth
cigarette.
Stuff. Welcome back to Talking Mouths.
I like a cigarette. I don't smoke, but I do like a cigarette.
With a drink.
Yeah,
sure.
Over a year sober now. I don't know if we talked about that on the podcast.
You got your chip?
Yeah.
What step of the program would you say you're on?
I'm on the
well, there's 12 steps.
The praying step, I guess. I don't know.
Quite a stack. That's like one, I think.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what the steps are. I'm far, I guess. You make it a year, and
But if you're still on step 1 after a year, are you really doing anything, or are you just?
Maybe I should just start. Maybe
you're
I should
just
go back
chilling
to the
on
bottle.
the stoop. You're not even on.
I should go back to the bottle. Dude, I had non-alcoholic whiskey the other day.
Why?
Because I love whiskey. That's why I love. The reason I quit drinking is because I love whiskey. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
I got some good stuff at the house. You'll have to come by.
Thought I would try it. No, I don't think I do need to come by. And didn't do well. It was not good.
Okay, step 1 is accept reality. Do you feel that you've accepted reality?
Yeah, I had a problem. I stopped drinking. What's number 2?
There you go. Step 2 is have faith in a higher power. Is that
really step 2?
Have faith. Well, according to this particular diagram I'm looking at.
As an atheist, I think that might be a problem for
That's
me.
a problem for a lot of folks in AA, actually. It really kind of limits their range when they get all spiritual on
Let's act like step 2 doesn't exist. What's step 3?
Submit to the higher power.
No, it's not. Okay, moving on to step 4.
Do some soul searching. There you go.
Okay, did some soul searching.
This is a pick your own adventure type of 12-step program.
So I've done 1 and 4.
Sure, admit your failings. Have you done that?
Yeah, I would say I have. I would say I have.
Step 6 is let go, and that's
of what?
This says let go of the damaging traits that are underpinning your addictive behavior. Interesting. I personally know that I have not let go.
I don't think I've let those go.
I'll let you
either.
know, in fact, while we're on the subject, that I had a particularly frustrating evening last night, and in a panic, found myself going to Raising Cane's in Knoxville and eating more calories than a human should consume.
I have been eating a lot
followed by another trip to Buc-ee's right after.
Did you see
I was out
Snow
of control.
White and her little friends?
No, I did not. They were not.
I hope we've said
Believe
that.
it or not, they're not employed by the Buc-ee's.
I hope we told that story on
We
the
did.
podcast. Okay, I was going to say, because I just sound like a dick if
I think
not.
the John Murphy episode.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
Step 7 is show humility. Have you shown?
Yeah, I think.
Are you familiar with the term humility?
I think the best thing about me is my humility.
Sure. I get it. I get the irony.
Yeah. It's not my joke, but it's a joke.
Show willingness.
For what?
Are you willing? Be totally willing to make amends to those you've harmed.
Sure.
I will say once again, I am not willing.
Sure.
I am somehow on the
negative
one.
I don't think my drinking was a negative for most people other than my mental health. So willingness to fix myself, I guess.
It's interesting that it's willingness to make amends to those you have harmed, because I am more than willing to make amends to those I have harmed, but to those who have harmed me, they can get fucked. They can get fucked. That's what I'm saying. Okay, all right. That's also the same.
What's number 10?
So number 8.
Or 8.
8 is
we were at 10 already,
show willingness to make amends. Number 9 is make amends. So I guess.
Oh, so I have to be willing to do it, and then 9 is doing it. Okay.
Now that you're willing. Number 10 is make more amends. No, I'm kidding.
Number 10 is talk to God.
Number 10 is check in with progress.
Okay.
Sure.
I have an app. Does
11 is discover your purpose, and 12 is share your message. Now, I'll say this. As someone who was raised very Christian, number 12 frustrates me a little bit. And this is not my thinking. This is an old Ari Shaffir joke, but he is Jewish, and he's talking about how Christians are the most annoying. And he's like, because you guys, like, it's in your thing. You have to just tell everybody all the time. And he's like, no other religion is like that. He's like, Jews, we're not telling anybody. There's only a limited space up there, and we don't need you taking up space.
It's no, it's not Jewish. It's the not the Mormons.
Let's play Michael Guess's religion.
Yeah, not Mormons. It's the other.
Mormons.
It's the other one. The door-to-door.
Scientologists?
No.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Sure.
Dude, they only believe there's like 10,000 spots in heaven.
Yeah. Right. So why are you telling everybody?
Why are you telling people? Yeah. Like,
have I told you about my sweet grandpa who's he's still with us, not the one who passed away, but he's just he's a
good old country boy.
He's an interesting fella. He's 4 packs a day, about 12 cans a day, and that's it. That's
is this
his
the guy
day every day.
Is this like the guy who got in a fight with your uncle in like the front yard or something?
No, that'd be the other one.
Oh.
That'd be the one who passed away. It's all good stuff. Anyway, my grandpa, when I was a kid and I spent my summers in Virginia Beach with my aunt and uncle, and he was in the Navy, blah, blah, blah. My grandpa would just sit on the porch every day and just harass the neighborhood when they drove by,
I love it,
when the kids rode by. They loved him. But there was this group of Jehovah's Witnesses that it's a huge neighborhood, like massive, flat neighborhood, and they would ride bicycles around the neighborhood and like.
Oh, do you throw stuff out?
Throw out stuff. No, every time they would come, he would get up and he would come inside, and if you were inside, he'd be like, "Pap, like, why are you coming in?" And he'd be like, "The damn Jehovah's Cavalry is coming down the street." He called them Jehovah's Cavalry because they were on bikes, and they would just ride right up to you if they saw you out and just. Hand you pamphlets and stuff. Yeah. I also rode my bike around that neighborhood a lot and many times would make a quick turn and pedal away so I didn't have to
I've never to the cavalry. I don't know if I've ever been interacted with by somebody trying to convert me to
Really?
Jehovah's
My
Witness.
grandma also used to make us hide in the house when they would knock on our door when I was a kid. We would like hide.
I think you're just supposed to tell them you're gay and they'll leave you alone, aren't you?
They'd probably surround your house.
It's kind of like
they'd call for backup.
Like I think that donating blood is one of the nicest things that you could do in life.
Sure.
But I'm terrified to donate blood.
Oh.
And so anytime anyone's ever asked me, I'm like, I just got a tattoo like 2 weeks ago. Oh, yeah. I haven't got a tattoo since I was 18 years old. And I tell them, sorry, 2 weeks ago I got a tattoo and
you just got to share your message is what it is.
Yeah.
You got to get the word out.
Yeah. I feel like I've done that, you know?
Jehovah's Witness. I wonder, I don't know a whole lot about them. We're gonna if you're listening to this,
dude,
and you were raised
I do know a decent bit about them because I watched a couple of videos about them, so I know everything.
Oh sure,
I know everything about them now. Sure. Yeah,
you're an expert.
They're wild, man. Anyway,
they are wild.
What's next? Because I feel like I've done the message.
That's 12 steps.
Is share your message? I thought it was
share your message.
16 steps.
Nope, 12. Okay. That's all 12.
So I've done like 3 of them.
Sure. Well, it's that's 3 more than I've done. I think.
This is true.
Number 1 is accept reality, which is what I'm constantly trying not to do.
I don't understand what that means.
After years of denial, you're ready to accept that change is needed in your life. That's what it is.
When's America going to do that?
Hey, welcome back.
Anyway.
Welcome back to the accept. Constantly trying to not accept reality. Yeah. I think that's my whole MO.
Every time I drank.
It's mission objective.
Every
for
time
our military folks.
Every time I would drink, I would just not accept that I was drunk.
Right. Well, now you have.
Yep.
Now you have.
Yep.
That's good.
It's been fun. Slept better. Anyway, so we've not recorded in a while.
Yeah.
Let's tell the people what happened. Nathaniel and I had a
heroin addiction.
He was not addicted to heroin. It was crystal meth. But in me trying to get him off crystal meth, we had a blow up argument.
We did. Big fight.
We both said some things. He said things he didn't mean. I meant everything that I said to you.
Sure, that's fair.
And it ended up in Nathaniel getting a new apartment, moving, and all sorts of stuff. So
I finally moved out of Michael's basement.
Yes.
I sleep here on this table every night, or did, I guess.
Yeah, that's why it's
until
so
I accepted
dusty,
reality.
Because he's not sleeping on it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did. I did get a new apartment. I was living with a buddy, and that just didn't pan out for me. So, in order to kind of save that relationship and get out of there and find some peace, I got my own place.
And now he's never going to talk to him again.
We'll see. It's not really him. Long story, but no. So I got my own place. That's been interesting. I mean, there's just a constant to-do list in my head now. Yeah. Of like, I'm still not really. I mean, I'm moved in, like I'm sleeping there, but there's still boxes. There's still setup. There's I'm going to like get a shelf I need tonight after this, and then finally unpack a box that's been waiting on a shelf. To have somewhere to put stuff. Like little things that. I guess if you've never lived alone, you don't even really think about.
Yes.
It's a lot. It is a lot. But it's also wonderful. It is so great.
Is this your first time ever living like alone?
Alone. Well, I mean, aside from being in the van for, a month and a half by myself, but
I wouldn't really count being homeless as living alone.
I mean, I was very much alone. I was 3,000 miles alone.
Yeah, you're 3,000 miles away from where you grew up.
Right.
But I wouldn't call it home because you were homeless.
It felt like home, honestly. No shit, and this is not as funny, but like I've never felt at home really my whole life, kind of. But in that van alone, 3,000 miles from anything I've ever known, that was the most I've ever felt at home. And I even I have it now. It's on my grandma's property, just out there.
That's rotting. The van that we tried to do mobile recording in.
Yeah, it's just out there, kind of rotting in the sun. But every time I go over there, I just go kind of. Look at her. I'm like, how you doing?
Why don't you just take that van and rent like a lot?
It's just so old. Yeah, honestly, I don't even know if it would run. It'd be cheaper for sure than living on your own.
Yeah. No, but seriously, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been good.
Congratulations.
Been good.
You know, I've never lived by myself.
Really?
Never lived 100% by myself.
A lot of people kind of give me shit, especially Haley, but a lot of people were like, why didn't you just move in with Haley, or why didn't you two get a place? And I mean, she already has her place. She has a house that she lives in while she's going through pharmacy school. So it's not logical, and it's not really big enough for us to share necessarily. I mean, it'd be fine, but it just, I don't know. Also, because I've never lived alone, and more than likely my next move will be with her. You know? So I felt like I had to do it while I could. Yeah. Just so I know what it's like. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
I think it's great. Yeah. And he's going to cheat on this podcast.
Yeah. So that's a fun announcement. I mean, there's really nothing to announce.
Oh, I didn't know. Did not announce it yet. My bad.
No. There's not really anything to announce just yet. But let's just say I have sort of a project in the works. Another show that'll be very, very different than Talking Bits.
Yeah. It'll be called Bits Talking.
It'll be called, Talking Bits Tay. Is that Pig Latin? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm American.
So yeah, that's coming soon. I'm thinking probably like summertime, sometime when episodes start coming out. So no rush. You know, that's again long list of shit to do. Like I gotta find a home for the things I already own before I start buying new stuff.
No, I get that.
But we're figuring it out, and I've got some ideas. I have a prospective name. I have a perspective logo that I'll show you after this. There goes my phone now.
Yep. We're falling apart this podcast. I chipped a tooth. You broke your phone.
It's fine. Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. So that's coming soon. But you know, other than that, been just busy. I feel like because we've taken about a month off. So
we have.
I was trying to recap.
I have something. I've done comedy twice in the last month. So
a new record for Michael Rose, ladies and gentlemen.
For those who were, following my social media and my upcoming shows, I actually showed up to a couple of them. Just kidding, I didn't post that.
I still think you should put out like an upcoming shows and it's just all open.
But I don't want to commit to them. That's the thing. Like,
that's rough, dude. When you won't even put out an open mic schedule, you're struggling.
Well, the problem is I go snowboarding on Wednesday nights, which is like when the open mic is.
Sure. Yeah.
So. If I don't go snowboarding, I go to the open mic. But if I go snowboarding,
the week you went, was that the frat week? Was that?
Yeah. So the first time I went, which was the first time I went back in a long time, there was a whole ass fraternity in the audience. And if anybody who does comedy hears that, they're probably like, "Oh, that sounds fucking terrible." No, that fraternity was fucking dope.
I think they would love me. I'm good with the bros.
You would have. We all.
The bros like me.
We all killed, dude.
Yeah.
So, it was a good mic. There was a lot of people I had never seen before. I met Grant Madison, I think is his last name. You met him? Super nice guy.
No, there's a whole new crop of local open micers that I haven't met because I've been doing so much in Knoxville and other shows and stuff too. I just really haven't been around lately. But I'm trying to be back around more.
Dude, that fraternity, so like a good chunk of them went up, and most of them prepared jokes. Some of them were dared. And
well, I was going to ask, did they say, like, is this a challenge? Is this what is this?
Not all of them went up. A lot of them did. I'd say like 8 of them went up. I'd say like 5 of them were like taking it serious and trying. And like they all bombed, but they were taking it serious and trying. And
was it their first time? Like all of them? All of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's kind of cool, honestly. That kind of takes some of the pressure off of going up.
And they were a great audience. They didn't, like, you think of a frat, and I'm thinking,
rowdy.
We're going to get rowdy. They're going to heckle, whatever.
Sure.
Great audience. It was my first time up in a long time. I went after Pruitt. Pruitt killed. I went up, and I did like my go-to 5 with a couple of extra tags and a brand new joke, a completely brand new joke.
I mean, it's been months. Like, did you feel rusty at all?
I fucked up one joke.
But as far as just being on, did it feel foreign? Did it feel? Nah. It's kind of like riding a bike. Right?
Well, also before doing comedy, I mean, I don't even know how many speeches. Like, I took a lot of public speech.
Right.
Like, that's what I studied. Like, I public spoke before even doing comedy. That. And then I had a management job where like my whole job was talking in front of people. Yeah. So like the part of comedy for me, which is I feel like unique to my situation. I was never nervous being in front of people.
Yeah.
And so like that part of it was fine.
Plus, you were hammered all the time. That helps.
It did help.
That does help.
Yeah. So,
Were they? I mean, I assume it's a frat. They're probably drinking, right?
Some
or
of 'em.
was it like was it one of those Christian frats? You know?
well, the ones that were 21 were drinking. Yeah.
They got fakes.
Well, I didn't have a fake.
They're frats.
I
I never did either.
Yeah.
Me neither.
One of them, there was these twin brothers there that were there, and it was their 21st birthday.
Oh,
Which
that's
I thought
cool.
was a weird way to spend your 21st birthday. One of them got on stage.
They were in the frat though.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're surrounded by
president.
your buddies. Oh, so that's why they're there.
The frat president was
for
there.
the president's birthday.
And
or
his
something.
twin brother
Sure.
was like 21st
Same
birthday.
birthday. What are the odds?
I know, right?
That's
Anyway,
crazy.
so I did like my go-to 5. I killed, honestly. Like I killed. I closed on a brand new joke.
God, it must have been a good crowd.
Yeah. It really was a good crowd.
I would have fucking crushed.
Dude, Pruitt crushed. I crushed. Like a couple other comics crushed. I closed on a brand new joke that I am gonna keep because it was, I don't know. You know, I was feeling it. I wasn't gonna do the joke, and then I was like, well, I'm crushing. Let's close on this. And then I did. I went back 2 weeks ago, not this past Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, and I did okay.
Yeah,
I did all right.
What was the crowd like then? Because I haven't been in the.
Wasn't as good. It wasn't a bad crowd. I personally did bad.
Over under 30, including all the comics. I mean,
it was about 30.
30. Yeah, 30.
And then the
30 seems to be that number.
The frat week was over like 40 or more.
Right.
But it was about 30, and then I honestly,
I saw pictures that it looked like a lot.
I honestly just had a bad set a couple weeks ago. Like
Well, you're only doing it once a month. That'll.
Yeah,
That'll do it.
I did the dick pic joke, which I fucked it up.
Yeah.
I added a tag to a joke that didn't need a tag. Like, wasn't doing well enough to have a tag on it, and like it wasn't like, I wouldn't say I bombed.
I just
but like
think
I wasn't
if you're
like
not going up
yeah.
at least once a week, you can't expect to have a good set. And I mean,
No.
especially like once a month. I was
Yeah.
thinking, somebody the other day asked me how long, who was this? I don't remember. Somebody that I know in life did not know I was a comic, and I was talking to them.
The dude we had on this podcast?
No,
That was a fun episode.
That was fun. That's Lucas. He's great.
If y'all haven't watched the Lucas episode, watch it. Anyway.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. No, this is somebody that I hadn't seen in a while, like a friend from high school or something. I don't remember. Anyways, they were asking me, how often do you go up? And lately, honestly, not a lot, because I'm so stressed about moving into the house and stuff. I've had a lot going on. But then they were like, well, how long have you gone without going up? And I think maybe like 6 or 8 days or something is like the longest stretch I've ever had. And even then, I felt kind of rusty and out of place. It's quick.
It's like
quick.
The first one after you take a break, you don't really feel that rusty. And I don't know. It's like the first time you do it.
Well, part of it there, too, is everyone's excited that you're back. They haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
Like the Friends thing, which can kind of taint the experience.
It's like,
it's not really authentic.
I feel like the first time you do comedy and you're taking it seriously, you have to, if you're taking it seriously.
That's a whole different conversation.
The first time you're doing comedy, you tend to do pretty well. You don't crush, but you have that nervous energy that's like really good. And the second time you're a little cocky.
Right.
Because you did okay the first time.
It's also
and then
like
you kind of suck the second time.
Some comics say this is my first time, and then you get a lot of leniency. But if you don't say, or like I see it on Kill Tony all the time.
I fucking
Somebody
hate
will
whenever
go
they
up
say it's their first time.
Bomb on Kill Tony, and then afterwards he's like, "How long have you been attempting stand up?" And they're like, "This is my first time in a fucking HEB arena or what at Madison Square Garden." And it's like, why are you there? You're taking an opportunity away
from somebody
who genuinely could use that opportunity. Yeah, it kind of pisses me off.
I don't like whenever somebody gets on stage and was like, it's my first time telling jokes. I don't like that. If you tell me
asking for sympathy,
you tell me before you get on stage, like I'm just like, hey, how long have you been doing? I don't. Yeah, cool, great. Like we're having a human interaction.
It's scary, man. I mean, they just need all the help they can get. The first time.
Do you remember that dude at Blue Ridge? He wasn't from here, and it was the old club, and he was like standing outside doing his set over and over and pacing around like crazy. And I don't think he actually even got on stage that night.
There was one guy one time that got up and did like 20 seconds.
Oh, I've seen that more than once.
He basically said like hello and then panicked, and he goes, "I can't, I'm sorry," and then he just got off. Older guy.
Were you at the club that day that this guy went up? I feel like it was the old club too. It was definitely the old club. And he got up, and he had a very unique last name, and he'd done it 2 or 3 times. I've seen him 2 or 3 times, and Sean had apparently been mispronouncing his last name, but he never corrected him.
What's he look like?
I mean, he's probably like my age, like.
Oh, not who I was thinking.
Yeah, maybe he's a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say he's like heftier, you know.
I don't know.
Wears husky jeans for sure.
Is the one they all said looked like Shane Gillis? Because that was hilarious.
Maybe. I don't know. But he got up, and Sean had apparently mispronounced his last name, and he spends like the first 15 seconds like making fun of Sean. Not funny.
Oh, I know
and then does a setup to a joke, and then completely forgot the punchline, forgot his set, forgot everything, was like, forgot, and then ran off stage, and then I never saw him. Still have not seen him since then.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, dude, don't make fun of the...
Well, here's the interesting thing, is like this iteration of the Tri-Cities comedy scene, because it has died and come back multiple times, but like this generation, this iteration, is already to where, like, I mean, like I just said, there's already new open micers who've probably been doing it 6 months, and I've never met them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, just because I'm not around as much.
I met quite a few of them. The past 2 times I've been there, I have met quite a few of them.
Well, there's also this thing where, like, I had a show on Saturday at Gypsy Circus, and Travis headlined and did great, and I bombed for 10 minutes. But there was like a lot of, for some reason, every time there's a show at Gypsy, I think because it's usually a locals only lineup or somewhat, that locals will come out as far like old comedy friends and stuff. So like saw former guest of the show, Mr. Curtis Cooper, was there, and he lives like a minute away, so he's always there. And I love seeing Curtis. But then like I saw Dan Bendeck was there. Do you remember Dan at all? Guy with glasses. That's probably even before you started. Used to go up all the time. Him and his brother both. Great dude from Sean's class, and has stopped doing it at some point along the way. And I saw recently where Tony Doman's back in town.
Yeah, she was at the open mic.
I gotta see her. I love her to death. But yeah, like just it's weird that there's all these like kind of like fallen soldiers a little bit. That when you see them, you're like, oh damn, man.
Yeah.
The only difference between me and them is I just didn't quit doing it. You know, like that's. It's kind of weird, though. It's almost like seeing an old friend from high school or something. You're like, what are you up to?
And they're fat now.
What are you doing? They're fat now, yeah.
Ooh,
Curtis is the opposite. He is jacked.
Yeah, Curtis lost
He's fit.
A lot of weight.
Since he got his surgery or whatever.
Since he almost died.
Almost died.
Yeah. I have something about someone from high school, actually.
All right.
Okay, this is going to get kind of political. Buckle up.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. So... we all know.
I disagree. Go ahead.
Yeah, we all know who the president is, whatnot.
Say it. I want to hear you say it.
Elon Musk. Yeah.
He won't say it.
I won't say that fascist name. No, you're right. Anyway, so prior to the election, this guy that I went to high school with, his name is Junior. I'm not going to say his last name because, you know, could get sued.
We'll call him Junior.
His first name is Junior. I don't give a shit.
We'll call him that.
Anyway. Before the election, he posted some very, like, racist shit. And I called him out on it, and he started messaging me and was like, this is why I support Trump, blah, 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 and, like, all the stuff. And I'm like, okay, dude, that's great. Like, you're fucking, have your, whatever.
Sure.
Okay. A couple weeks ago.
You have been getting fired up on social media. I gotta tell you, you're off the rails. Somebody's got to talk to you.
Yeah. They've talked to me. I'll bring it all up.
No, you gotta calm down. You gotta calm down.
Oh, why? Because
you just, I don't know. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your political. Just stop. Nobody cares.
Okay. Anyway.
You care.
I do.
And that shows.
But I'm saying, I'll explain my reasoning in a second.
Nobody cares.
I'll explain my reasoning in a second.
And the ones who do are not worth your time. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I shared a meme that said, I'll dead name the Gulf of Gulf of Mexico forever.
I saw it.
Okay? Funny. I feel like an objectively funny meme. Doesn't matter. I don't even feel like that's very political. I thought it was funny.
Sure.
Some people started talking some shit to me. I started talking some shit back. This Junior guy hops in my messages, sends a message. He's like, hey, I meant to send this before the election. Forgot to click send. Blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
But anyway, about halfway through it, he goes, it's like this like paragraph and a half section talking about how great Hitler was as a leader and how he was like the greatest, smartest leader ever. And like, yeah, he may have been like, you know, kind of a bad guy, but he was like very smart. And
hold on. Let me say objectively, and I want to play. This is not a Kanye move. Objectively, he is correct. Okay.
No. Objectively, he used propaganda. He used propaganda.
But as far as a leader and a speaker and a strategist, He was brilliant. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, obviously an evil human. I don't support his choices.
He used a lot of propaganda and was not that great of a leader. And shouldn't have gotten to war when they did.
Effective. It worked.
The propaganda was effective.
It worked.
I'll give you that. It wasn't great. But anyway, he's making all these very pro-Hitler claims.
Sure.
And I sent
that's a lot.
I sent back, Junior, if you truly believe that, why don't you post about it?
Right.
See what the world has to say.
Well, you can't. You can't do that.
This son of a bitch posted it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
And immediately everyone was like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. Now,
and that made me very happy. I've never got somebody to,
let's
you know
go
what
to
I'm
this
saying?
Big H thing. We'll say Mr. Big H himself.
Big H.
The infamous Mr. Big H.
Big H. Oh.
You know, little mustache Big H.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
The slacky like that guy. The screamer. What is it he's saying exactly? Like what did he say about Mr. Big H?
Saying that he was like a great leader. He did wonders for the German country, and yeah, he may have done some bad stuff a lot. I mean, he really discounted the bad stuff he did.
It's Elaine
was really
for sure.
Was really discounting a lot of in his words, bad stuff he did.
It's kind of like heroin addicts being like, heroin's great. It makes you feel great. It's like, well, yes. But there is a but.
There's a big old but. Yeah, his point, and I do think that point is very flawed.
Sure.
Because like really what it was a propaganda movement and it was an overthrow. Like it wasn't.
Have you read the book Blitzed? Are you familiar with this book?
I've never read it. No. But
I have a copy if you'd like to borrow. I think it changes my whole perspective of.
I think that he knew how to inspire a crowd.
Oh yeah.
Took him years to get to the point to inspire a crowd. I'll give you that argument, but like saying he's a great leader.
A joke about how his art was kind of beautiful.
Yeah. Saying he's a great leader though.
It bombed so hard. It is. Let me just tell you, ladies and
They
gentlemen.
probably do pretty good now.
In case you've ever wondered, it is tough to get a crowd to applaud for Adolf Hitler. I don't know if any of you have ever tried, but
hey, listen.
I'm just saying.
Try now.
The whole joke was not
the salutes are flowing now. You know,
my heart's with you. Okay?
You'll probably get a couple salutes.
Hey, my heart's with you guys.
Yeah.
Here's the
Fuck
deal.
off. Anyway,
do
you have autism too? Anyway, go
100%.
ahead.
All the evil stuff about Hitler is true, but like the whole joke was he got rejected from art school, and I don't really know why. Like maybe we could have avoided all of that if they would just let him in, because it's pretty good. His paintings are not bad. They're not bad. Again, it's hard to even. People don't want to.
Yeah, it's hard to be like.
They're not bad though. You ever seen them?
I have.
They're not bad.
He has this little one like a farmhouse.
Better than I could do.
Oh, that's not.
Better than I can. That's what I'm saying. But all these people who are like, God, his painting sucks.
Dude, I'm pretty sure my daughter in 5 years can probably draw better than I can.
Oh, she probably can now. She's a genius.
She's pretty good. Yeah. The other thing that, since we're talking about it, that meme.
Big H?
That meme. Oh. No. That meme that the Gulf of Mexico meme I shared. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we live in a very right-leaning area.
Really?
I'm very not right-leaning.
I haven't noticed.
Because I think. I have a brain. No, I'm just kidding.
Your left leg is shorter. That's why.
That's what it is.
Your left,
and I just tilt to the left.
It's a birth defect.
So I shared this stuff, and a bunch of people hopped in my comments and were like, "It's really bad to grow a business if sharing political stuff that disagrees with everyone else in the area."
I would agree with that.
And I commented back, was like, "Yeah, well, all these other fucking people are posting." That are in the same industry as me, their political beliefs, y'all don't say anything.
I just don't.
Anyway,
here's my thing, and this is unique to me. I don't give a shit about anything that you care about, or anything that anybody cares about.
See, I
barely care about what I care about. Like I don't. Why do you personally feel motivated to share your political beliefs on social media?
Why do I personally?
Yes,
because the current changes in our country negatively affect my wife and my daughter's life pretty significantly.
But how do you think that you displaying those feelings on social media contributes to that?
I think if you change one person's mind, you've done it, and that's so. But
do you feel like that's an effective way to change a person's mind?
I'm not being devil's advocate. No. The past couple things I've done, I did two big things. I did a big post and I did a video. The video actually started a lot of conversation with a lot of people I didn't expect it to with me.
Like in comments or like personal. Actual conversations?
I got messages and I've had conversations in person with some of these people. The post, no, that just pissed everyone off, which
Right.
was fine. I was pissed off. I
That's
was
kind of the goal, though, right?
very fucking angry when I made
A lot
the
of
post.
it is just starting a fire.
When I made that first post that pissed off a lot of people, I was very fucking angry. And I wanted to piss people off. And then I calmed down and I made the video. And now my goal is to do something separately. I'm actually going to be, at some point, starting another podcast myself.
Booyah.
And it's going to be,
Check that, folks.
it's going to be, I don't know if it'll be truly a podcast. It might, I don't know exactly what it's going to be yet. But it's going to be me talking to
web
people
series?
who, yeah. I mean, it's going to be kind of like iCarly. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
At what point will you do random dancing?
Every episode.
Imagine halfway through a political discussion, random dance.
Pretty much. But the other thing, like the reason I'm doing that is because I objectively feel like I'm good at talking into a microphone, except for the beginning of the podcast when I chipped my tooth. But
that would hinder it, yeah.
Yes. I think to me, I think like the best way to see the change that you want to see is having one-on-one conversations with people you disagree with.
I agree.
And that's something
Which is, to me, the antithesis of a social media post.
And that's, well, I would post it.
Like, quite different.
I would post it because I want the words to get out there and stuff like that. But, like, let's say you and I disagree on healthcare.
Well, we do. So just name a topic and we can do it right now. You don't need another show. We can do this right now.
Yeah.
I will name a topic.
No. But, like,
the problem is I'm not attached to any idea ever.
See, and I truly used to not be, but then, like, man, and people with kids, they'll be like, yeah, I get it.
That's a big difference.
And it's like,
also, I'm very much of the opinion that nothing you or I do is going to change anything.
I'm against that opinion. I think so. I understand that I live in a very deep red state. I understand that.
I think the red and blue thing is the problem. You're starting off on the wrong foot by.
I don't think it should be.
Not that that's incorrect.
I don't think it should be. I don't think I'm not a Democrat. I'm not.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the whole problem is you're looking at it through this two-colored lens.
But that's the reality of our political climate.
But that is but it doesn't.
That is the problem. Yeah.
Just don't live that way.
But the problem I have is when a certain group of people want to. It's not even my rights necessarily. Like, I'm fine, dude. Like,
yeah, you're a straight white dude. You're good.
I mean, personally, I'm fine.
We're doing good. The straight whites. We're doing pretty good.
But
I don't know if you've checked in lately. We're doing pretty good.
I mean,
there was a while there where we were the most persecuted, but we made it through.
Yeah.
We really overcame
male rights. Right?
We overcame our struggles for a while, dude. There was nothing harder in America, I think, than being a straight white guy for a couple of years. Yeah. But we pulled through.
We had to learn what pronouns mean.
We're resilient.
Yeah,
we had to learn. We have overcome some adversity.
Yeah,
and it just it doesn't kill you; it made you stronger. That's what Kelly said.
We had to overcome pronouns and
right. I learned bathrooms. Which one to use? Which one to not? Sure. Yeah. I will say,
as a population, we had to quit saying the N word. Well,
not all of us. Yeah. All right. We have we have a venue that we use for Don't Tell all the time that has a gender neutral bathrooms. They have 2 or 3, I think.
Dude, I fucking love a gender neutral bathroom.
Here's the weird part about them is they're not singles. You know what I mean? Like there's 2 or 3 in a row, but they're 2 stalls each. Each door leads into 2 stalls.
Oh, that's interesting.
And 1 sink. It's interesting, except for in the fact that I was in there right before our last show, and I just you wouldn't want to
nuked it.
You wouldn't want to be in there.
Yeah.
Let's say that it's pre-show. I'm working.
I do love a single person gender
coffee. Single person's the way
neutral bathroom.
Regardless
to be
of
honest
the gender.
with you.
I need one part. I need alone.
I love it.
Or Buc-ee's where I'm miles away from everyone else. Yeah. That's great.
Gender neutral those. I don't care.
Sure. Here's the problem. I'm blowing it up in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pre-show. I've had nothing but coffee all day. It's not good. And then someone comes in, and I'm like, well, this ain't good. And then the person next to me starts changing, and I realize in that moment, it's Haley. It's my girlfriend.
Oh, no.
And she has wandered into the same 2-person gender neutral bathroom that I'm in.
She recognized the smell of your...
She did not.
That's good.
But I had to quietly exit, wash up quick and get out of there before she realized it was me.
I don't like to wipe whenever there's another person in the bathroom. I just wait till that.
Just let that.
I just wait for them to leave.
Let's just let that sit.
I just wait for them to leave. That's what I do. I just don't like to do it. I know that.
Sure.
I know this makes the same sound when everyone else does it, but when I do it, I get very uncomfortable.
Well, if it's that cheap, public restroom toilet paper too, it's kind of a paper crunching noise. It's not a pleasant sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so afterwards,
I don't want them to know what I've done.
Well, I'm back. They know.
Yeah.
I'm back in the venue, and she comes in there and is like, "God, somebody in that bathroom was really blown." And so then I'm faced with this moment where I'm like, do I explain to her that was me right next to her, or do I just let it go? And I think I probably was like, yeah, I can't believe somebody would do that.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
disgusting
women.
behavior.
Here's something.
She probably saw my shoes. It was me.
Women's bathrooms, public restrooms, are famously more disgusting than men's public restrooms.
Yeah, isn't that strange?
That is odd.
Yeah. Even though we just have a trough that you piss in.
Yeah.
And yet,
I've never cleaned blood off the floor of a men's restroom before.
ew. I didn't need that in today's episode.
Nope. Never cleaned
Sorry,
poop
folks.
off of a wall in a men's restroom either.
I probably have.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, folks.
Back to the political thing, my final thought on it. You know, my only thing with it is my opinions changed a lot when I had a kid, and it's not just me, and like
as they should.
It's not just me, and like I see stuff that that significantly negatively affect what's going to be her education and her actual life, and her rights to her own body and stuff like that, and I just get very angry.
Well, that's very different than me, who's like, I don't.
Yeah, and I see all these people who are like, meh, and I was like, no, shut the fuck up.
It's pretty tough to pass a legislation that has any impact on my life, you know? I mean, this Pornhub ban's really got me down. I'll say that. That's not fun.
Is that an effect?
It's bugging me a little bit.
Is that...
That's a Justin Mays
countrywide or no?
No, it's state by state.
Not yet.
You just use a VPN. You can get around it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
ExpressVPN, sponsor us.
Yeah. How many, honest to God, how many VPN sponsorships do you think, like, I always skip sponsorships on YouTube videos, but how many sponsorship messages do you think mention that?
VPN?
Like, mention, like, porn ban in your state, download this.
I don't think they're direct about it necessarily, but I mean, most
do you remember whenever
know what's up?
Do you remember whenever they used to, like, put in the VPN ads, like, your favorite show off of Netflix? Well, The Office is still in the Netflix
Germany,
UK or whatever. Or, yeah. And, like, that was the whole VPN. Like, that doesn't feel like... Well, that feels illegal to me. Like,
it is weird. I remember.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it, but like, it feels like a weird thing to tell people on your ads.
Well, this is years ago. This is before like HBO Max and stuff. But back when Netflix was really first popping off, I remember there was a huge article I saw one time that got me stoked because it was like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, all episodes is coming to Netflix.
I think it was the UK or something.
Well, the headline was just coming to Netflix, and then you click it, and it's like only in UK. And I remember being like, "Fuck!" And then download a VPN and you can watch them all and stuff. Yeah. So it is weird how that works.
It's weird that they like advertise that. Yeah, download this so you can watch it. I got a VPN before we went to Europe because I was like, oh well, I need to do work stuff in the airport, and like that just feels. Sketch.
Yeah, I guess I never thought about it working in the opposite direction where you can pretend to be in the U.S.
Yeah.
While you're abroad.
Yeah, well, I did like that, and like also just being in like an airport or like in a coffee place or something like that, and it's like I can't just be emailing my clients on this public ass data Wi-Fi. Anyway,
well, stand up. So
welcome back to the Political Bits podcast. Anyway,
well, you haven't really been. I mean, that's kind of been your whole.
That
life
has been my thing.
Lately.
Well, my whole life. I've been selling houses. My whole public life.
Comedy.
The other thing I did, I did make the 2 posts. The one post pissed everyone off. The second post is a video, and that's the last one I'm really making.
We'll see.
That's the last calling people the fuck out one I'm making.
We'll see.
Did you watch the video?
Hold them to it. No.
Cool.
No, I don't read anything you post or watch it. I'm not. I know you. Like we do this did do this every week.
No.
I mean, I know who you are.
That one didn't piss people off is the only point I'm making.
Well, even still, just that doesn't, whatever you type in 64 characters or under doesn't define
tweeting?
Who you are to me. Like, but that's what, you know what I'm saying.
I agree with that. And that was also the point I was making in the video because people were like, you disagree with me, so you hate me. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Do you hate me because we disagree? You and I probably are completely on the...
I think we're closer than you think.
Yeah.
But we were talking right before we started recording about another, comedian who said something to the effect of, if you're a comedian, don't post
and then post all of his political beliefs and gets called out and then deletes them because he's scared.
Well, on one hand, I
make fun of your jokes.
On one hand, I agree. I think that it's...
He's not listening.
For me, no, of course not. I think the politics is often not to use this word again. This is my word of the day, toilet paper. But it's often like the antithesis of comedy in that it's so subjective and it varies so much. There's not much common ground to be found a lot of times. So it's like that's why I really respect the very, very few comics that do political humor, and I think in a great way. It's because everybody tries, and it's not.
I don't think that comics at our level should try. Should really focus on political comedy.
Great. Like some comics are built for that, but if you're not, don't. Like
if
that's
you're
just
not,
my,
yeah. Like I'm
just a goofy guy. Like I don't.
There are comics who spend their entire life making political jokes and are very good at it and have a team of writers and a show to do it on.
And there's a reason they do it. Yeah.
And it's like, well, we can't even begin to compete with
it's
that.
It's not even
and
that.
The problem with political jokes is they don't age well.
Well, that's true too. But
that's the other thing.
That's not the biggest thing. The biggest thing for me is any kind of approach to stand-up, which I would say I'm kind of I don't know if I'm a comedy snob or like a purist, a stand-up purist, or just I think really more than anything I'm just in love with the art form and always have been. You know, like so. But anything that sets out for clapter or agreeance, or the opposite of agree, or trying to rile people up with a perspective, I'm not interested. Make me laugh.
I agree.
Make me laugh. I just paid $25. You know, I got a babysitter for the night. Don't tell me how to feel.
You got a babysitter for the night?
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
When crowds come out, they and I say that to my shows all the time. Like, we're to the point now where we have some returning people, which is amazing, and I love seeing them. And then we have a lot of new faces, but I have like one couple who's been to like 9 of our 25 shows, which is amazing. But I know that they have kids because we've interacted since they've come, and I know that every time I see them, they've done a lot in their week or maybe even month to plan that hour and a half to come see me.
It is tough.
I don't want to tell them how to feel.
Yeah, it is. Know? It is tough when you have kids to like.
Yeah,
dude, we were gonna go to the Amber Entree show this past weekend at Blue Ridge. It was Valentine's Day weekend, dude. We could not get a babysitter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, but the thing, I agree with that. Like, it's with the stand-up comedy. I'm torn on it, right? Like, a part of me, like. Hassan Minaj, like my favorite comic. You know that?
Right,
You've seen him.
He's doing it, so you don't have to.
He's doing it. He does political humor, but he does it in a way where it's based off of his own experience.
Right.
And that is why
also, he's not really telling you how to feel.
No.
You know?
I think the beautiful thing with comedy is that they don't have to directly... They're making fun of something, which in turn... their only goal is to laugh. It's to make you laugh.
It's also influence. Like you cite Hassan all the time, and he's not at all an influence from me. Whereas if you look at pick any of them, but let's just say like Norm, for example. You've never really, aside from some of the Weekend Update things, you know, the OJ trial and that kind of stuff. Like Norm never once got an applause break because he made a statement that the crowd agreed with. That's not what he was setting out to do.
Yeah, I don't want them to make like if you can agree with the punchline that I'm making, but I want the punchline to be funnier than I don't want you to applause. I want you to laugh.
I've even accidentally landed there a couple times. Like I remember when this is a deep pull, but you remember when the Chinese balloon was floating over or whatever? I used to do this joke about how Biden told him to pop it as a balloon, and just for some reason that made me laugh. Pop it like it's just a balloon or something. Yeah. And it wasn't anti-Biden, but it was certainly playing on his age and his dementia-like symptoms that at the time were being outright denied. And it would get a sort of a reaction from, again, a very red rural crowd at Bristol that I didn't even really like. And so that gave me the opportunity to flip it. Whereas most comics would, well, not most, any comic who's out for clapter would sit in that.
Yeah.
I did the opposite where I'd flip it and I'd be like, this is not a Three Doors Down concert. Don't fucking, like, I'm not on your side. Yeah. I promise you I'm not on your side. You know, like, and that's fun.
And they laugh.
To flip. And they laughed at that.
And that's the thing. Like, you can make a point that I agree or disagree with, but like if you leave it where I'm supposed to, if you leave it where I'm supposed to just clap or get mad,
right?
Fuck off. Make me laugh.
Exactly. Well,
make it a punchline.
The difference there is the art. The crafting of it. So
I can say anything to piss somebody off.
Anybody can. Anybody can get a microphone and go up and state how they feel about politics, and someone in that crowd will probably agree and someone will disagree. But if you can sprinkle a little bit of art and passion or creativity in there, you can make it something people attach to. I mean, especially like what really comes to mind is things like that balloon thing, or like jokes of mine that I've abandoned because they're time sensitive, like the Baltimore Bridge thing that I had, and that's like one of my favorite.
The bridge
jokes.
that fell down.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite jokes I've ever had, and sometimes I'll
pull that out this weekend.
I do. Sometimes I do, just because I love it, and it does great. But it's again, there is that timestamp on it that you're talking about. That political shit sours fast because it's a 24-hour news cycle. By tomorrow,
like political stuff. I have one political joke in my set, and then a tag that's kind of political too, and it's like it's about my gender reveal party,
right?
About like just the gender, which is like that's fine. I don't feel like that's aged out, right?
Well, again, it's your personal experience,
exactly. But then like if I made a joke about how Doge is just a fucking meme coin,
it's just
right? It's like it's gonna be gone in a week,
right?
Yeah, maybe not 2 weeks for that one.
Even
but
still,
what I mean.
it's
just
ages.
It ages bad.
Yeah,
and like that's the thing. That's the thing that I think a lot of comics don't realize. With like, they look. I fucking love John Oliver, right? I love John Oliver. I love Jimmy Kimmel. I love all those guys. Those jokes are written. John Oliver specifically, they're just 1 week episodes, right?
Also they don't write those.
They are in a writing room,
right?
But it's like 5-6 people writing these jokes about what the fuck is happening right now.
Yeah, because it's
airing,
it burns,
and then it's gone. Those jokes never work again.
Yeah,
and I think right now
some stuff is timeless.
Some is,
but you got to nail it.
It has to be a very good joke,
like the Norm OJ stuff. And I mean, OJ obviously is such a captivating OJ, such a captivating story that it lingers in pop culture, and that's why it's still relevant.
And that's different. But like the Chinese balloon thing,
nobody remembers.
Dude, do that Chinese balloon right now, and half the audience can be like, "What?"
That was a good joke, though.
It was a good joke. It was funny, and I remember I was there when he flipped it. And it was funny.
Honestly, I couldn't even do it now because I've also forgotten it.
Exactly.
Like I don't.
But like stuff like that, that's just it just ages like milk.
Yeah. Right.
But like OJ or the Luigi stuff.
Well, let me say I watched I'm sure you haven't. Ari Shaffir has a new special on Netflix. It's called America's Sweetheart. And I encourage you, if you're not familiar with Ari, but you are for some reason listening to this show, try it out. I mean, he's a very dark and edgy comic which is hilarious for his age, but it's a lot of it is provocateur comedy. He's trying to make you upset at him, and he kind of relishes in the groans kind of deal. But it's great. It's really, really good. And he has a 9/11 joke in there, and it's like but it cracked me up. And the fact that after 25 years,
but that's big enough.
But I'm saying after 25 years that he approached it in a way that nobody has. I've not seen anybody else approach it in that way. And yes, it's still big and lingering.
The stuff like
culture.
That you can do, but it's just like these small news cycles that people like.
Yeah. Well, dude, so I had this is perfect example of this. I had a joke, not even really a joke, just my opener. I would talk about how we should get together and laugh and do comedy more often and kind of get a little applause break to start my show or something. Yeah. And then I would say, the world is crazy. Like I read an article the other day, and when I first wrote that joke, I read an article the other day that a gang leader named Barbecue has taken over the island of Haiti, which was a real article and really did happen.
Get it, Barbecue.
Every week when I would perform that joke, I would have to change the title of the article. And it was easy to do. I just, right before I went on stage, just look up news. Top article would be some wild shit. And that's like a plug and play joke almost. I could just insert anything. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. You have to just leave it open-ended because it's changing all the time.
I think the best thing that you can do is just like make sure your jokes are evergreen, right? They just last.
I think for me personally, the way to do that is just to avoid politics altogether.
Yeah, and like politics is something I've become very passionate about.
Religion too is like people don't really fuck with that unless it's your personal
experience. It's got to be very unique. Religion's one of those things where you could do it, but it's hard.
I'll tell you bit about a trip my church took to a hell house, which is like a haunted religious.
Your church did that?
Yeah,
that's so fucking funny.
Oh, it's a kill. It's a monster bit, but it does great, and it is religious, and our crowds around here are very religious, but because it is either so unrelatable that it's wild or so relatable that it's one of those jokes that is both, depending on who you are in the crowd. Either this is blowing your mind or this happened to you. Yeah. And that's hard to do.
If I hear one more Pope fucking diddling kids joke or Catholic.
Well, yeah,
and I'm just like, and that's like the thing with like a lot of religion jokes. They're just lazy.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah. But like stuff like that, like I have a somewhat religious joke and a personal experience. It's something that really happened. And it's like, it does. It's not a great joke yet. I've been working on it for a little bit, but like,
we're talking
it does
about subject matter. There's also, and this is a tough conversation because you and I both have no authority in the world of like it's tough to look at anybody.
I know that
and judge
all the greats listen to us. Jerry Seinfeld is our biggest fan.
But true, I mean, it's easy to notice, especially when you're around it as much as like I am lately and stuff. You hear things that it's not a stolen joke. It's just
you've heard it.
You've heard it, or it's easy. Like one thing that happens a lot is somebody will say, fuck kids. And then they'll be, no, don't fuck kids. That's bad. Those little that's
transitionary.
It's a
device. Filler.
It's a device.
It's a filler.
It's not even subject matter. It's just a device they're using to get a quick little pop on the way to something else. Even that stuff is like it just starts to all kind of feel.
Yeah, it's like filling your speech with or like.
It's just hard to hear anything original when you're around it all the time.
It is, and that's the. I don't know.
Like there's a comic, and forgive me, I don't remember his name, but he was opening for Will Foskey, who's hilarious. He's from Atlanta, and he was headlining Justin's Don't Tell in Knoxville a couple months ago when I was down there helping out, and he brought a comic with him from Atlanta, and he started this joke about how his dad recently passed away, and he was sick, and the nurse called him, and he was like, well, I guess, he goes, my birthday was last Friday. I guess this is why Dad didn't call to wish me happy birthday or something, because he turns out his dad had been dead in the apartment for like 5 days or something. Yeah. And the nurse was like, when was your birthday? And he was like, Friday. And she was like, we think he passed away Saturday morning. And so like that started off in a direction that it's like, I've heard this 1,000 times, but it's such a unique experience to him that he just, I mean, that joke popped off the room. It absolutely blew up the room. And it's so funny. And that's the kind of thing where it's like, that's gets me excited more than anything anymore is when I hear something and go, oh, I didn't see
hear
that
something
coming.
Unique. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's tough, man.
I think that's it.
There's 100,000 comedians in the country.
The advice that we should give, because we've not done that in a while, just be fucking unique, right from your own experience.
Just be undeniable. That's what Rogan always says.
Yeah. Right from your own experience. And yeah. And like, if you're gonna do political jokes, you better be what you're doing, and you better be thinking about it all week before you get on stage.
Every time I try to write something that I'm like, this is it. This is finally where I find my voice. This is my lane. This is how I feel. It just bombs. It's just inauthentic. Yeah. But if I tell you, like, I have a new joke I'm working on right now about something crazy that Haley does to me in a relationship.
Dude,
one of my biggest reactions from a crowd, and it's brand new.
That's what happened with that joke I told you I closed on. I closed on. It was an honest to God argument that Kayla and I got into. Yeah, something I said during the argument. Which the whole punchline is the statement I made to Kayla during the argument, and I got off stage after it because I was like, I'm not going to close on a better joke than this.
The reason that it works is because they buy it.
Yeah,
when you say it, they believe that that's you. Yeah, you're not playing a character. That's me. I did that. I said that. This happened to me. The crowds are not dumb, man. I mean, some are, but for the most part, they smell. They smell
when you're not being who you are.
They know what's up.
I agree with that, and
And I mean, some people get away with it, especially like if you're an over the top character on stage. That's different.
That's a different type of comedy, though.
But if you're just I'm not trying to go up there and be anything other than me. So if I write
jokes
that don't
low
sound
energy
like
up there.
me, yeah, exactly. That's why I'm falling asleep. Yeah, and shotgun this Black Rifle coffee. I mean, anytime I'm not being me, they'll let me know. Yeah.
They'll let you know, but being quiet.
I'll let you know. Well, I do want to say real quick, because I know we've been going for a while.
Yeah, we almost said an hour.
There's a couple quick things I just wanted to kind of run through and talk about real quick. We mentioned Don't Tell Knoxville. Justin's been up in Madison, Wisconsin, doing a bunch of stuff.
That's cool.
He's staying with our old buddy Squeaky Gerard.
Terrible time of the year to be in Madison, Wisconsin.
The worst possible time. He went to it was like -16 when he landed.
Earlier, I think I said it was like hot outside, and I was lying. It's like 20 degrees outside right now.
But it's freezing in Madison. But anyway, so he's been up there, and I've been kind of helping run a show or two while he's been gone, and so kind of just connecting with the Knoxville scene has been fun. Last night, as of this recording, I was down there for a show, and he give a guest spot to my boy Ethan Wheeler. Have you met Ethan at all? great dude. He's such a sweet dude. And he's a Knoxville comic who's, I'm going to guess Ethan's probably been doing it maybe a year and a half, something like that. You know, like he's just at that point where he's starting to not just do open mics and do other shows and stuff. And he's doing a lot, honestly. He's doing great. But Justin kind of gave him a spot last night, a guest spot, and he destroyed.
Oh,
he
good for
had
him.
a great set, and I got some good pics of him while he was there and stuff. And I mean, similar to what we talked about when Peyton was on the show the first time, the light in his eyes gave me this warm and fuzzy feeling that I ain't felt in a long ass time.
Yeah.
After coming off, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just seeing him, because that first that first real legit show with this headliner who's driving in and this opens for Theo Vaughn on the road, and it's a lot of pressure, and just watching him go up there and have a good set and then come off was so special. So I just wanted to say quick shout out to Ethan.
Hey,
He'll maybe come on
Congratulations,
soon.
Ethan.
He's great, and I don't know whose jokes he stole to have such a good set, but they were great. Also, a couple of weeks ago now, like right when we took a break, I got to go down and do some Don't Tell Nashville shows. That was fun.
That's awesome.
I had not done that yet at all. Brad Sativa is awesome. He's headlined for me a couple times, and he's one of the producers down there. So we did a show for him, and then we did one for Ritu, who's awesome. Have you met Ritu? She used to open for Amber. She's
No.
an Indian girl. Amazing.
Yes, actually.
she's great.
I've seen her before.
She's so sweet.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that show was fun. And then Sativa somehow, he moved 120 tickets for Don't Tell Murfreesboro, which is just south of Nashville. So I drove down for it on Saturday, picked up that second show, and did a room of 120 and had a great set. It was so much fun. So yeah, just that was awesome. Also, Travis and Kayla were in town that weekend for some other shows, so we like went and got coffee together, the four of us and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of looking at my list here because I forgot what I did for the last month. My shows have been good. Thanks for supporting. If you happen to be listening to this and you've come to a show, that's awesome. If you haven't, you should come because we got a bunch of good ones coming up, and I've got new venues starting to reach out, new headliners starting to reach out, new features. I've had a lot of new features lately that are just killing it. So
it's awesome, man.
that's been good. Last thing I had on my list was just my apartment, but we kind of talked about that. So if anybody has like some nice drafting chairs they want to donate to,
What is a drafting chair?
it's a tall desk chair, usually used at a drafting table, which is where like animators would draw.
Okay.
It's just a taller office chair,
Okay.
but usually it has no arms and like one of those rings around for your feet. Just a
Yeah.
taller chair.
I've always just known that to be like a tall bar stool.
It's pretty much, I mean, it's similar to this chair, just without the arms and a little taller. And I mean, I'm not specific, so if you want to donate a chair, that'd be great.
Cool.
But,
I might be getting a new couch soon, so if you want this one.
oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a little short.
It is rather short.
My table is taller than that whole couch, I think. Anyways, so there'll be announcements for that coming soon, and I guess, you know, whatever project you've got cooking.
Yeah. No, I don't have.
You have anything official to talk about it, or are you just kind of in the works?
Oh, yeah. So nothing official yet. It's something I'm putting some thought and energy to.
Yeah. The point is, we're both doing shit. So
yeah, we're both doing shit. I have decided that I want to use my voice for, you know, good in the world. Nathaniel decided he wants to use his voice for bad in the world. So
you couldn't be more accurate.
Yes. No.
Spot on.
It is something, you know, to close the thought on that, you know, it has become a really big part of who I am recently because of just how much is affected.
Yeah.
How it will affect my life and my family, and I'm
all that
want
to
to start talking about it. So
there is a reason that we haven't released an episode in forever, and it's we're both doing shit. Like we
pretty
have
much
live shit and other projects in the plans. So I mean, episodes are going to continue to come out as far as I know of this show. Maybe
unless
just not
unless he's breaking up with me right now.
Maybe just not at our regular every week basis. It may be kind of sporadic.
Might be every other week, something like that for a while.
We're going to keep doing the show.
We'll get back at it. Yeah. I do have one more thing I want to say because I on the Cancer to Society, that is Facebook, I saw someone complaining that nobody was laughing at certain jokes they were making, and all I want to say is that the audience was woke and whatnot. I've seen that.
I'm confused.
All I'm saying is
this feels like an inside joke between you and a person.
It's not.
I don't know what it is.
If people aren't laughing at your jokes because they're too woke or they're offensive, write funnier jokes.
Well, I think just if people aren't laughing,
Write funnier jokes.
Also, it's never the crowd.
Never the crowd.
It's never the crowd.
Write funnier jokes.
Somebody can get them, you know?
Yeah.
And I think this has been kind of a
I've been on my
venomous
villain
episode.
era lately.
This is kind of a venomous episode.
Yeah.
But early on in this show, before we knew what was good for us, we had a few questionable guests on, and one of the things that was said is it's always the crowd. I don't know if you recall that.
I do remember.
I would now have the full confidence a year and a half later.
Unless the crowd is like blackout drunk and throwing shit at you, I'll give you that. I'll give you that exception.
Even
right?
then,
if the crowd, if there's like, if you are being drowned out by TVs surrounding the crowd,
sure,
it's not your fault. You get a pass.
Well, that's the show. That's not the crowd.
Exactly.
That's the show. Yeah.
But if you are just talking to the crowd and they're not laughing,
it's on you.
Not their fault, man. It's your fault.
You. Yeah.
So, okay. I'm good. You good?
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
That's how you wanted to clean today up?
I wanted to
starting a war?
I do.
That's an interesting way to wrap it up.
I'm in my villain era.
You really are.
I am.
I don't. Also, I'm not personally attached to Michael, so if you feel attacked by whatever he said during this episode, then take that out with him.
Yeah.
You know?
Take my spot.
We have different PO boxes where you can send hate mail and fan mail. So send me the good ones, and yeah.
Yeah. No, I do want to say I do have a lot of love for our local comedy scene, and
well, that makes one of us.
There is. What I was saying was it's just something I've seen a lot of people bitch about, like blaming crowds and like saying like, oh, they're just offended easy, and I'm like, no, it's just your jokes aren't funny.
Here's
like,
the truth.
that's the
now
thing.
This could open up a whole can of worms because I do want to set this record straight. I mean, again, before we clicked record, Michael and I kind of caught up and we're talking about the state of the scene and the state of the show and all that stuff. And there is a interesting phenomenon that occurs when our area has gone from no comedy to one place where there's comedy to now on any given Saturday, there may be 5 shows.
Yep.
4 shows in different Tri-Cities. And first of all, I'm both incredibly encumbered and honored to be a part of that. You know, I enjoy producing. I'm glad to provide that for this area. It's not necessarily something I asked for. It's not what I set out to do when I founded the Don't Tell, but it's the boat I'm in. There is something that occurs when a scene reaches a point, I think, and again, it's all speculative, when there is some opportunity, there's a lot of lines that are drawn, teams that are made up, rumors that are started, fingers that are pointed, feelings, ego especially, a lot of
egos in comedy,
a lot of insecurities, a lot of tripwires, just a lot of shit. And the truth is that I am doing what I want to do and what I think is best. And a lot of folks are very quick to throw advice my way, a lot of times unprompted, and I've learned to absorb what needs to be and filter out the rest.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, the people who are most anxious to give you advice don't really have a lot to give or are not coming from a place. And I think that's more of a general rule for life. Like I would say, just be cautious of the person who's always telling you what you should be doing.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I think in an environment like we have grown in this scene, there's a lot of people telling me what to do or what not to do. And at times it's very stressful. It's a lot to manage that and because you want to be respectful of those people, a lot of whom either are currently or were at some point in a mentor role, you know, or I had something to learn. But at the end of the day, we're about to hopefully have our 4th consecutive sellout. I've got new venues and comics on the way. We're growing. Whatever I'm doing seems to be working. You know? So it's like, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say here is there's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of filling in the blanks that goes on in this environment that we've created. But the only truth is that we're just having fun.
Yeah.
We're literally just, our job is to make people laugh. So whether it's, this political comedy conversation that we're having, whether it's somebody getting upset over the crowd not laughing at their jokes, whatever.
Just don't blame the crowd.
Weird ego mix of emotion is going on.
Just don't blame the crowd. Don't blame other comics unless they're stealing their jokes, but don't blame the crowd.
Right, and also have the courage to call them out if that's the case. Because there's a lot of that too. We even mentioned earlier, I think that sometimes the word thief is thrown out pretty quick in comedy. Oh, he's a joke thief. He just steals shit. Yeah. And that kind of brands a person for a while. But sometimes that's accurate. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just envy. Sometimes it's like a similar premise. Well, sometimes based off of something big that happened. Even jokes aside, sometimes you got to look at your source. And
Yeah.
you got to know that whatever mouth that information came out of, it came out of for a reason. Maybe there's a past there. Maybe there's a grudge there. You never know is what I'm saying. So, and the only reason I'm bringing this up now is because I think that a lot of comics or former comics, friends of ours who are around town, do sometimes listen to this show. And if by chance they're listening to this now, I just want to put it out there that there's not any... I very much resent this idea that there is a team Don't Tell and everybody else. That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. It's never been true. I am running the show. There is me, and if I want to put you on and I think you deserve it, you're going to be on. And if I don't...
You got to apply.
You got to apply. That's another thing. But here's the other thing, and I talked about this recently with a comic that I really respect, and one of the people I actually listened to his advice.
Yeah.
Everyone in this area saw me go up for the first time, pretty much. You know, I mean, there's comics who are newer than me now.
But everyone who's doing it.
Everyone who's doing it at the time saw me go up for the first time. So I'm just never going to get the respect that I probably should. Because they think I'm just still a first-timer. In their mind, I'll always be an open mic no matter what opportunity I have. So then now that I have this show, and believe it or not, call it what you want, call it the budget, call it the Don't Tell engine, whatever fucking terms they throw out behind my back, that does get to me, just for the record. I do hear about it. Whatever you want to say is the reason for Don't Tell success, I am. It's literally, and that's not ego. That is me saying you have no idea the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into 1 hour a month or 2 hours a month. I mean, it's my whole life, and it's 2 hours a month. So it's like some understanding of that, I think, would help relieve some of this weirdness going on. But if it doesn't, also, I don't care. I don't care. So this weird high horse that I've found myself on at the end of this episode that we might even cut out because I don't know.
I don't know. This whole me going off maybe need to get cut too.
No, I think this episode, because we've been off for a month, it gives us a weird opportunity to reflect on a month of
our lives.
As opposed to normally it's like, what'd you do for the last 5 days?
Yeah.
Right now, the one thing that sticks out to me is very much that there's this weirdness occurring that when the scene was so small, there's no problems, there's no drama, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
Now we got a scene. We're working on it. You know, we're kind of
people
growing
are clicky now.
People are, well, not even clicky. It's people make assumptions.
Yeah.
That's what it is. People make assumptions and people take things personal, and I don't.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's been
the theme of this episode.
Yeah. The theme of this episode is we don't really care, to tell you the truth. Because we're both just doing what we do. Yeah. Just living life. So, say lovey is what I'm saying. And just also, if you're listening to this and you're a local comic, or maybe you just found this show or something, or you've been to one of our Don't Tells, whatever it is, I think this does truly apply to every aspect in life. Is just, if you know what you're doing, that's all that matters. Yeah. You know?
Do what you think's right.
I know what I'm doing.
Do what you think's right.
Yeah.
Do what's best for you.
Do what's best for you and your family and your loved ones.
Yeah.
Which I don't factor in as much. Yeah.
But, you know. My whole life. It's not a big deal or nothing.
Sure.
All right. That's it. That's the episode.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
It's our high horse. Thanks for tuning in. We'll,
thank you for tuning into the High Horse podcast.
Yeah. We'll be back in 2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
We love you.
See ya.
Bye.